Electric cars are here and are going to be a part of our future motoring landscape. You can dig your heels in all you want, but you'll be fighting a losing battle. Whether it's the environmental issues, the cost of ownership, or just the simple fact that fossil fuel is a finite resource, you'll come to realize that, like it or not, electric is the solution.
And no one else in South Africa is driving the EV revolution any stronger than Jaguar. They've invested 30 million rand in over 80 charging stations around the country to make it easier to live with EV, electric vehicles. Driving this onslaught for them is their all-new, all-electric I-Pace SUV. It's got a 90 kilowatt-hour battery pack, and this gives an unrivaled range of over 400 kilometers. That's more than any of the competitors that are available locally are offering. So let's find out what it's about. Driving the I-Pace is like driving any other SUV. All the controls are rather similar. There's a steering wheel in front of you, 2 pedals down by your feet. The gear selection is a little different, so you have buttons. You've got a button for drive, a button for neutral, reverse, and of course for park. Other than that, it's the same. You've still got Jaguar's level of luxury here. There's sumptuous leather, beautiful raised stitching, walnut burl, aluminium and Alcantara trimmings. It's all very high end. One big difference is the sound, or rather the lack thereof. You're not going to hear an engine. It whizzes along near silently. The loudest noise you're going to hear comes from the air vents, the air rushing, or it comes from the Meridian audio sound system, which is controlled with these 2 dual touch screens. And we've seen this before in the likes of the Velar and the Range Rover Sport. So the top one handles your key functions and has Apple CarPlay. The lower one, a couple of shortcuts as well as climate control, seat heating and the likes. Can also control some of the telephone functions. Rather nice, quite intuitive to use, even if it does take a little bit of time getting used to the menus. The Jaguar I-Pace is powered by a pair of electric motors, one on each axle, making it all-wheel drive. It makes 294 kilowatts combined and 696 Newton meters of torque. That is rather staunch. And despite the fact that it's heavy with all the batteries in that, it'll sprint from 0 to 100 in 4.8 seconds. That's faster than a 3-litre supercharged Jaguar F-Type. That's rather impressive. But the best part about electric cars is the performance. It's the instant torque. It doesn't matter the speed, it doesn't matter the throttle position. Put your foot down and it launches super hard. Whoa, it is addictive. This really is a performance vehicle. Woo! But this is going to cost you, as it does with any car. If you have a heavy foot, your range is going to decrease. And that brings me to a rather important aspect of the Jaguar I-Pace: charging it. In order for us to successfully adopt EV, we need to change our way of thinking. The way that we refuel our vehicles is rather antiquated and impractical. We have to drive out to a filling station to go and put fuel in and then drive back. We also drive our vehicles until they're nearly empty before filling them up again, because it's that impractical. Now, what if you had a filling station at home? Wouldn't you just start topping it up as soon as you start seeing the needle move? I know I would. We need to start thinking about EV in the same way that we think about these, our mobile phones. We plug it in at night and then it's set for the next day, no matter what arises. Now, that's all fair and well, but what about charging on the road, on the go? Well, that 30 million rand that Jaguar invested in the Jaguar Powerway has seen the erection of over 80 charging stations around the country. This includes Jaguar dealerships, at malls and shopping centres, and of course at rest stops along the major arterial highways, the N2, the N1, and of course the ever popular N3. Public charging costs are going to run you, well, between 3 rand a kilowatt hour and 5 rand a kilowatt hour, depending on where you charge. And that's largely because, well, they can charge for the service and electricity doesn't cost the same everywhere you go. Also, time of day plays an important role. Now, at a dealership, a charge is going to take you to about 80% in about 90 minutes, whereas at home you can get a full charge in about 13 hours. Now that sounds like a long time, but we're talking about from zero battery power. And in actual fact, you should only be topping it up, which should only take an hour or so. And then there's the cost of a full charge. If you're charging it at home, a full charge from 0 to 100% battery should only cost you about 180 Rand. It's going to be even cheaper if you charge at night or if you stay outside of the city. And for that, you're going to get 400 kilometers of range. It's a no-brainer, really. And I hear you asking, what about if there's load shedding? Well, let me answer your question with a question. What happens to a fuel station when there's load shedding? Do they pump fuel? This won't even be an issue if you keep the vehicle topped up on a daily basis.
We just need to change the way that we think about EV for it to be viable. It's cleaner, it's quieter, it's lower on maintenance, and it's cheaper to run. Cheaper to run. You see, the Jaguar I-Pace is a little bit pricey. It starts out at 1.6 million Rand, and to get into a high, top-of-the-range model, it's going to cost you 1.8 million Rand. But for that, you're getting the performance, you're getting the luxury, the comfort, all the technology, and you're getting decent range. Yes, I'm still going to miss the scream of a petrol engine, but I'll have that for the weekend. I'll do an EV during the week, any day.